Hey, Braves fans, welcome into another edition of Quarantine Q&A. It is Wednesday, April the 1st, I believe, as we deal with this global pandemic and the shutdown, of course, of baseball. And today our guest is Kyle Wright, former Braves pitcher. And Kyle, tell everybody where you are and how you're doing right now.
What's going on, Chris? Thanks for having me. Well, I'm still in Florida. I never left. I decided to, stay down here, and at least it's good, nicer weather down here. Trying to keep myself quarantined in a good, as good of a place as I can. So, yeah, I've been down here in Florida. I've got some college teammates who are staying with me, so I'm able to kind of play catch just in the neighborhood. Been playing a lot of video games, watching a lot of Netflix, just kind of little things like that, keep myself occupied. But yeah, right now I'm down in Florida and just trying to make the best of it.
Now, you Vanderbilt guys, you should figure this all out for us as quickly as possible, right?
Yeah, we wish we could, but no, we're not that good.
You know, I think of all the players when spring training stopped that I felt worse for may have been you, just because you made that last start before things were suspended. You were pitching really well. Tell me how it was for you when things stopped and when you had so much momentum there and having to pause everything.
Yeah, I mean, I think the main thing is it was just a bummer that baseball is having to be put on hold. I mean, this is one of those things that you can't control. Like it's just I don't really worry about that at all. Just because like I said, this is a global pandemic. The health and safety is the most important thing. So for me, I don't look at it too much like that. I just think that whenever we're given the opportunity to get back out there again, then I'm gonna have to try to come and prepare again. I mean, can't really look too deep into it because just because, like you said, this is something that's out of our control, and I'd rather everyone be health and safe first and foremost before baseball. There's some things that are bigger than baseball, and this is one of them. Like I said, just whenever we get the chance to get back out there, I'll try to keep it going.
I know you're from Huntsville, Alabama. Everybody's safe back home in Huntsville.
Yeah, family's been all good so far, so good. So that's definitely good news on my end. There's some other people who Huntsville has been hit some. Fortunately, I haven't known anyone yet, and hopefully, I don't know anyone that gets sick. But yeah, as of now, family's been all good.
When you take a look at just everything that's going on, and no matter what your job is, I think you kind of have to take a step back, and I think everyone has at some point during this whole thing just been overwhelmed with everything that's going on. What do you do to try to get beyond that?
Like I said, it's kind of uncharted territory, I guess. So I think the main thing you can really do is just take it day by day. Just kind of keep chugging along and trying to find some type of routine. I know it's not easy because you don't really know what's going to happen tomorrow and whatnot
Right.
with this whole thing going on. But I think the main thing is just trying to make the best of it and try to become as routine oriented as possible. It's kind of a cliche baseball term but I'd say it's pretty true, and I feel like it's not just true for me being a baseball player. I feel like it's for anyone, because that's probably the easiest way to try to find some normalcy in all this is being able to find a routine. When you're stuck inside all day. Again, not easy to do, but trying to do that will definitely help, I think, and that's what I've been trying to do to keep pushing along through this thing.
You're one of the fortunate ones. Obviously, you had some guys to play catch with and kind of stay in training shape. But are you keeping up with a lot of your teammates, a lot of guys to see what they're doing and checking on them pretty regularly?
Yeah, I say whenever I talk to other guys, we're more so just kind of just talking, seeing how it's going more than anything. I know that from a training standpoint, we're kind of everyone in all of baseball is for the most part in the same shoes, I'd say. So I think just being able to do anything at all is better than nothing. So yeah, definitely lucky that I've got some teammates, some former teammates here that I can play catch with and just kind of keep the arm moving. But as far as weight room stuff, I feel like pretty much everyone's limited there. Some guys maybe have some more equipment than others, but I think doing anything is better than nothing.
It's been a few years now since you were drafted, and we grow over time as human beings. How have you grown as a person since you were drafted?
I think a lot. I mean, I feel like one, I'm gonna go back to Vanderbilt. I feel like that place and that culture helped me prepare pro ball in general. So I feel like it really started there. And then just, kind of each year, I get a year older, I learn a little more about baseball, learn a little bit more about my teammates and everything. So I feel like just kind of as you get older, you become a little more mature, whether it's on the field or off the field, particularly for me on the field, just because you learn just how difficult this game is and you got to be able to manage your way around it. So yeah, I feel like I've definitely matured a lot since I first got drafted.
What was it like to be around Felix for a few weeks before things got shut down?
It was awesome. Having a guy who's had that much success at that high of a level is definitely a blessing in itself. Just because just watching the way he prepares, how he pitches, how he competes, just all the little stuff. That's for me. That's where I learned the most is just watching how those guys go about their business and just kind of getting to watch him work on a daily basis was cool for me, and I feel like I learned a lot. And I'll even go a step further. That's not like Cole Hamels. Cole Hamels wasn't able to throw because he was dealing with some shoulder stuff, but he was still just such a good presence to have around us young guys in particular. Just so much knowledge, pitched at a high level for a long time, and both those guys still. Felix obviously had a great spring, so he's still pitching at a high level, and Cole's going to continue to pitch at a high level too. So having those two guys with that much experience, I think is huge for us young guys. Yeah, definitely.
And I know for you, and of course I have family in Tennessee as well. It's kind of a double whammy for the folks in Middle Tennessee who were hit by the tornadoes. There's some folks that I know that still are reeling from that, and I know that area means a lot to you too.
Yeah, that was kind of a tough one for Nashville, that tornado. The fact that tornado. There's a lot of tornadoes in the southeast, but you never really hear them going through big cities like that, and then even pushing on. So I feel like that alone was scary in itself. From where my house was, it was about a street and a half over. So, and I somehow took no damage, and I'm one of the fortunate ones. And thankfully enough, because one of my Vanderbilt teammates was staying at my house at the time, and he was asleep on the third floor. And by the time he even realized it, the tornado had passed. So, thank God that it didn't hit my house. But so my house, and he was lucky, but a lot of other people weren't. And that's not just Nashville; that's the Mount Juliet area, and even Cookeville, which were my older brother and my younger brother. My older brother's the pitching coach there. My younger brother plays there. Cookeville took a pretty big hit too. Fortunately, they were both okay. They didn't take any damage, but you just kind of see a lot of people in both of those areas, really struggling, and any type of devastation like that's not easy. But I was really proud of all the support and the togetherness that the community kind of brought together very quickly. It was pretty cool to see just kind of how quickly people jumped on and were willing to help. I know people I haven't been back to Nashville yet since it's happened, and I know people are still recovering, but hopefully, those people can continue to get back to daily normal life, as soon as they can.
Talking to Kyle Wright here, and you spent, of course, the 2018 season here in Mississippi. When you think back to that season, you had some times where you pitched really well, some times where you struggled a little bit there at the beginning. Talk about your time here in Mississippi and why this place is special to you.
I really enjoyed my time in Mississippi for a lot of different reasons. Great coaching staff, for one. Getting to work with Dennis Llewellyn, it helped me a lot, just kind of as a pitcher. So getting to work with him every day definitely was a big impact in my growing as a pitcher. And then also just I think I learned a lot from particularly Tukey and Bryce, because I know I struggled kind of at the beginning, and Tukey never struggled at all that year. He was lights out from beginning to end. So I feel like I really learned a lot from him, just kind of how he was attacking hitters, just talking, watching, just all kinds of little things. I learned, that's where I really kind of originally learned a lot from Tukey. And then once Bryce came up, then we kind of all would chit chat back and forth. And I got to watch those guys, because I would say we're all fairly similar pitchers. We all have some differences, but definitely some similarities too. So getting to watch those two guys, and they're two of my good friends now. So feel like those three guys helped me a lot, pitching wise in that season. And then, Mississippi, I grew up a Braves fan. So for me, just being a part of the Braves organization in general is special. So getting to play in Mississippi alone was really cool. Mississippi, I really enjoyed it, and definitely helped me grow a lot as a baseball player.
Tukey was another guy I was thinking this, it seemed like he had put so much together, and kind of getting back to his dominant, because I don't think anybody realizes how dominant he was that season. And it was just a matter of time before he got that back.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Tukey that year was really, really good. He still is very, very good. But yeah, I agree. I think some people don't realize just how good he was. I feel like he struck out 8+ guys every time. At least it seemed like. That year, and shoot, I'll even go. He hit really well that year too. I think Tukey is just a really good athlete, and I think whenever he's the most athletic is when he pitches the best, and obviously when he hits pretty good too. But I think Tukey is just such a good athlete, and whenever he, tries to be as athletic as possible, that's when he's dominant. Tukey actually had a really good spring this year too. So I, kind of also bummed for him that this got pushed short, but he'll be back as well.
Kyle Wright joins us here on Quarantine Q&A. Kyle, any final thoughts for folks out there? Anything you're working on or can pitch out there for folks to do to help out in any way?
Nothing particular. Me personally, if I could give anyone advice, just stay safe, stay inside, keep your distance so we can end this thing sooner than later. So, we can't get back to playing baseball and even just normal life in general. So, if I could say anything, just take this thing seriously so we can get it over with. It's not fun for anyone, especially the people who do get sick. So, if I could say that, I'll say that. But I know myself, if I'm going to speak, on the baseball side, I'm working, doing what I can. Like I said, we're pretty limited with what we can do equipment wise, but we're making the best of it and trying to do anything we can to stay on top of our craft. So, we don't know when it will be, but I'll be ready to play whenever it is.
Kyle, thanks for the time.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Appreciate you.